On the day that the world learned that Iran and the United States and the P+1, the P5+1, could not reach even an interim deal, they agreed to keep talking. Well, on that exact day, news came out about a radio interview that was done in 2014 by this fine man. His name? Mohammad Reza Nakhti. Now, he is the militia chief for the Basij militia, which is a part of the Revolutionary Guards, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards, but it's actually a volunteer force, and it is used, it has been used since 1979 as kind of a moral police force and to suppress dissent. So if the crowds get a little too big protesting, because after all, we're constantly hearing that Persians have a love of learning and they're more open-minded than others. Well, they call out Muhammad and his friends and they come and suppress the dissent. Well, this fine man said in his interview, among other things, that wiping Israel off the face of the map was non-negotiable. Iran can be trusted, right? You believe that, don't you? That if Iran says it won't create a nuclear bomb and that it'll live peaceably with its neighbors, you believe them, right? It's almost funny. I shouldn't mock because it's so serious. What he said in the interview was that we will continue to arm groups like Hamas. He boasted that Hamas got a lot of its arms and its training from Iran. Even though Hamas is Sunni, Hezbollah is Shiite. Hamas, and Iran is Shiite. Hamas is Sunni. But Iran is so committed to destabilizing the region and to killing Jews that they will arm the Palestinians, who are predominantly Sunnis. He also threatened Saudi Arabia in the interview because, again, Saudi Arabia is Sunni and the Iranians are Shiite. Now, for those of you who don't know the difference, we did a lengthy show on it. Go to our website and you can look. All you got to do is read the metadata tags on the top of the shows, and there's one show committed to explaining the Sunni-Shiite conflict. Now, Israel is who decided that they would release this clip. Within the closing days of the negotiations, the leader, Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran, was at a rally where the kids were shouting death to America, and he said, yes, death to America, and then went on to explain what villains the Americans are. And yet we plow forward. And yet we keep negotiating with them. We had a defector from Iran in Switzerland say that the Americans are there basically to make the Iranians' case for them to the other P5+1 members. By the way, for those of you who don't know, that's shorthand. P for the permanent members of the UN Security Council, America, France, England, China, and Russia. Those are the P5. Plus one would be Germany. Okay, so the P5 plus one are the 6 nations that are negotiating with Iran. The defector said that America was there at the table to be the voice for the Iranians, to try and push the deal through. So in spite of what we know, in spite of Iran's history, in spite of the fact, hear me, that Iran is on a very short list with the State Department as a state sponsor of terrorism. In spite of that, the U.S. is pushing a deal that will ultimately lead to the Iranians being able to possess nuclear weapons. You've got the leader of one of their militias saying that's non-negotiable to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. Ayatollah Khamenei saying that death to America. You have them funding, training, arming Hezbollah, Hamas, threatening Saudi Arabia. Does anyone besides me say, this is insanity? What is going on? I know you do. So what is going on? Something dark. It has to be something very sinister I'm not an alarmist. I'm not into conspiracy theories. I'm just not. The thing that you have to worry about is the thing that's on the table right in front of you. That's what you have to worry about. But we need to worry about this. Why is Obama doing this? What is possessing his heart, his soul, his mind? I know I can hear some of you going, well, I'll tell you what's possessing him, a demon. The man demon possessed. That's what's possessing him. The prince of darkness. Well, it may be true. I don't have eyes to see that. I don't know. But there's an ideology possessing him. There's a thought structure that's possessing him. And as the Jewish rabbi said the other day, that Obama was like Haman, the man in Persia who was trying to kill all the Jews, and Mordecai and Esther got in the way. And ultimately Haman was hanged on his own gallows, the one he was going to kill Mordecai on. The rabbi compared Obama to Haman as an arch enemy of Israel. I think a tree is known by its fruit, Jesus said. A tree is known by its fruit. If you are going to arm Shiite Muslims who are state sponsors of terrorism with nuclear weapons, if you're going to endanger Israel, if you're going to endanger the neighborhood of the Middle East, there is some ideological thing at work here that is evil, Haman-esque. And if this deal goes through, there will be a day of reckoning. There will be a day of reckoning where those nuclear weapons that Obama helped get into the hands of a state sponsor of terrorism, Iran, there'll be a day of reckoning with those bombs. And God knows how many innocent people will die and how many of our sons and daughters will perish in the conflict that ensues.